it's always when you watch these films that the defenses want to stop your guys' run game. Giants a couple weeks ago, heavy fronts, 6-man down, that kind of thing. Based on what you've seen from Minnesota on film, what do you expect to see? How will they be the same? Will they be different?
Yeah, the thing about the defenses today, a lot of defenses, and even Cleveland, who tends to be a pretty, you kind of know what they're going to be in, changed up a little bit. These guys can do a lot of different things. 6 on the line, 5 on the line, 5 on the line on nickel, four down nickel, still get 5 on the line, 4 down pressure. I mean, deep to short, where they line up deep and then they come down late into coverage, so you're not sure whether it's going to be a hard 8-man front or 7-man front or not. So these guys today, there's just a lot of different variations. And so however they decide to stack up and try and stop your running game, that's what you have to see as the game progresses, because they have a lot of different ways to do it. Do I see them being a heavy 6-man line? I don't know. And it's not what they've been to this point, but it doesn't mean they won't. Jim Schwartz, the story where we played Cleveland, when they played us when he was there as a consultant in Tennessee when we played them a couple of years back. And the second half of that game, they played us nickel to our 21 personnel almost the whole game, and that is about what they did in this past game to us as well. And for whatever the reasons, they decided to do it. And you would think that wouldn't be as good a way to stop the run, but they had other reasons they felt to choose to get nickel to do it, and they did a nice job. So there's just, you don't know what it's going to be, and that's always the challenge every week. And with us, it is. It's we do a lot, and we do a lot of different things that challenge, I think, defenses to be on point, and not to be on point. They have to be on point every week, but there's just a lot they have to cover with the motions and where we align the fullbacks and receive. So how they're going to do that, how they decide within their scheme and package, it's really difficult always to see. So you have to get in the game and start rolling with it. And anymore, it's not that I don't think Kyle is ever like, oh, well, that's shocking, or said that's what they're going to do to try to stop us. Here are the things that we go to, and that's the good thing over time is in 2019, I remember we had 99 snaps of nickel to 21 personnel. That was unheard of in the 10 years. I don't think we probably had 99 snaps of nickel in the 10 years before 2019. And then all of a sudden that became a way to play us. For whatever the reasons, defenses decided to do it. And so then you have to start saying, okay, well shoot, we have to adjust to this and start working on how we play nickel 21, and that didn't used to be the way it was. And now it's become, nickel's a huge piece of everything, 21, 12, you see it all over the place.
Why is nickel an effective counter?
I don't know, effective or not. I think it's from a defensive perspective. It becomes things like, what coverages can you play? You have to cover Chris. I think it's coverage based as much as anything else. I don't think it has to do with formations. All of a sudden, when you're going to take fullbacks and halfbacks and line them outside and play them as receivers, some of your coverage adjustments may involve linebackers breaking the box, right? Oh, what are we doing with that? Why not put a nickel back in the game, and it fits more with these guys are more X's out there, spots on the field as opposed to a fullback, a tight end, and then the linebackers having to adjust. There's just a whole, and I'm not a defensive coach, but I think there's a whole lot that goes into it, and that's where I think the nickel becomes a little bit, I don't want to say easier, but it does. And then those nickel guys and those safeties have to be good in the run game, because that's what you would think, oh, they're going to give up a little bit in the run game. But shoot, if they're shooting their guns and in the gaps and playing hard, it's hard to block them as well.
I get league-wide trend is that defenses are rushing the quarterbacks with smaller guys more and more, and the Vikings use this kid Metellus quite a bit off the nickel as a blitzer. How challenging is that for your guys to block smaller-bodied guys, nickel corners, that kind of thing?
Well, they are faster, so it does create an issue that if there's too much space, sometimes it's hard to get your hands on them. And then other times it becomes a matter of just if you do get your hands on them, they're easier to block because they don't have an array of pass rush moves usually. One of the best pass rushers ever was Charles Woodson, right? Not only was he a good rusher, not only was he, like you're talking about, these elusive fast guy, but he had moves. Like if you were a tackle, don't think you're just going to go out there and get your hands on this guy. He's going to beat you with a pass rush, with an arm over, a swim, a rip, or something like that. It's not going to get as much of that, but it is the space thing. A guard's out there, and here's would normally be a linebacker coming at you. You're judging of when you come off a block to pick him up. It's a little bit different because the guy's faster. So it's a little bit of a challenge, a little less of a challenge if you get my hands on him. It is, but it is. I think the littler guys blitzing or coming from different directions becomes a little bit more of a disguise. You're not expecting it type of thing. That's what's happening.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.